There we go. All right, so let's get into it, folks. It's looking like we're going to have Cognitive Deficiency on the blue side, and the Danglers will be on the red side there. So make sure you have that cleared out, and the timer has already begun. We can see a lot of sonar usage. That's been like easily by a huge margin the most popular gadget that we've seen players pick up, just simply because the extra utility it gives you in comparison to a lot of the other utility pieces that mainly require you to be at close range, which doesn't happen all that often here in Space Junkies.
Not as much as you might want it to, Blue. No, absolutely. And of course, that sonar providing you excellent amount of intel, giving you that player positioning, which is really great if you're trying to set up like a two-pronged attack, like we'll see Stumpy Nub and Pesky Cashew, from the Danglers doing here momentarily. It looks like they're already off to a good start. They picked up 2 frags on the board already, but it has been fairly slow for what I've seen in some of the Space Junkies play in the past. But I'm sure that'll start heating up here soon as Stumpy's starting to take some frags out towards Getsy.
Stumpy's going to try to lurk in. Obviously, the ideal position for the Danglers to get into here is nicely done. A quick switch over to the Biopump, I think, picks up the frag for Stumping up there. Meanwhile, we've got Pesky Cashew. I believe he's got dual Ricochakers, which is going to deal a whole lot of damage if he gets the range needed for that one. Getsu getting jumped on now. Should, if he's able to keep himself alive here, secure the 4th kill for the Danglers, but he's coming under some pressure, and Getsu manages to make it out of that alive, and might he be able to pull off the 1v2. In fact, I think he's got support coming in from Win Epic now, as he just got the respawn off. They'll surround Pesky Cashew, look to take him out, and there you go. The tables have turned. Although the Danglers did get that 3rd kill, so they still have a slight lead right now.
Yeah, just a little bit. And, Space Junkies, because it's so fast-paced, it's a lot about, kind of like with Echo, timing those spawns, making sure you're not leaving your man out there by himself for too long, because the enemy will pick up on that. And while you're respawning, they're still free to roam about the map. They can get themselves into a position to really screw over your teammate. But now, we're seeing Danglers still able to hold their own. They're not really phased by this. It looks like they're working together quite well. We're seeing a lot of kind of two-pronged attacks coming in from them. But also in Space Junkies, Blue, utility pickup is a big thing, right? You want to make sure you get all that armor you can. If you're hurt, you want to make sure you pick up those heals. And those places are marked, and they have, I believe it's a 90-second timer between the big spawn ends of like the full armor update and the health packs.
Yeah, which again brings in the similarities to Quake, because now you have to look at things like map control being very important here. You have to make sure you control where the armor pickups spawn, where the big health pickups spawn, where the more powerful weapons are going to be spawning, as you want to try and deny that to your opponents. It's very easy to spawn lock people in this game. So if you can lock down the weapon spawns, prevent them from getting anything good except for the random weapon they get coming out of the gate, along with denying them of any additional armor pickups, which that's the yellow part of the health for those of you guys who might be newer, it's really going to put a team into a corner very quickly and allow for a situation like this where one team could just cut ahead and take a pretty massive lead now at 10-2. Danglers now entering the double-digit territory and only 5 away from closing out the map.
Yeah, that Mercy rule may be coming into effect here in round number 1, Blue. That would be interesting. But yeah, wondering if those dual candy cane antlers are doing Pesky Cashew some good luck or something, because he is really wrecking right now. Stumping Up still leading our frags, of course, with 7. And like I said, an excellent player, and he's really showing it here.
Something to make a good use of the shield, too, which is something that I think when we played the first week, like I talked to a few players, or at least had heard from another caster about a few players, and they were saying, like, yeah, the shield's not really that good. It only takes like 1 or 2 hits, but Something Up is actually making some pretty good use of it. Like in this situation right here, it gets caught out in the open, preserves like a good 80% of the armor that he had picked up originally, and look, he's now able to close the gap because of the shield, gets another Biopump shut off there, and a quick switch over to the Railgun to finish things off as he takes down Win Epic for the 13th frag for the Danglers.
At 2 kills away already from our Mercy rule, and Cognitive Deficiency going to have to pull something out here. They really need to neutralize Stumping Up, because right now he is getting a majority of the frags, and if they can take him out and keep him off the board, they might be able to come back and kind of pick off Pesky while he's alone, but it's not going to matter.
There you go, folks. The Danglers are going to take control of map number 1 in this series, putting them only 1 more away from being able to push themselves forward. Remember, this is only the very start of the bracket here in the quarterfinals, so with this one, they're only going to make it up to the semifinals to start, but that's already a very close position towards the finals itself. Remember, 3 matches in your favor, one of which needs to be a best of 5. You win them all, you go right through into the finals, and you only have to worry about the grand finals to plan, which is just going to be a best of 3 since it's only for seeding purposes. Let's take a look at the highlights here, too. And again, I think for me, the big highlight was Stumping Up's play. Yeah, the great shield combo with the Biopump and then switching over to the Railgun to finish all players at longer ranges.
Yeah, he really utilized that shield well, and like you said, you spoke to a few players, and the shield's not very popular at the moment, so Stumping Up making great use of it. I think why he's able to use it, for what I've seen in this match so far, is he's combining it with good movement, right? Like we saw him when he pulled out the shield, he saw the shots coming in, and he immediately like ducked underneath that piece of cover that was right there, and then popped out with that railgun and just, decimated him. So I think he's combining that shield with good map knowledge, and that's what's providing him the edge with that shield, which is, like you said, otherwise, you know, a couple hits, a close range item.
He's not using it. He's not using it as well as like a be-all, end-all for stopping bullets.
No.
It seems to be only something that he's bringing out when he's in a bad position. So when he's in the open like that, trying to use the railgun to try to snipe players out. And it's like, oh, I got caught. It's all right. I got the shield, and I'll just quickly dash over towards cover, put it away, make sure I still have it if I need to use it at close range with the biopump, which was a really great secondary weapon that we started to see players use a lot more over the past few weeks. Been very popular, especially for players that want to keep that speed as the main focus for their build and want to try to rush up to opponents as quickly as possible. That thing is, as we just saw in that matchup, very easy capability to one-shot players, especially armorless players.
Absolutely, yeah. That shotgun is a beast, and Stumpy Number really likes to use it. But I think also, yeah, he might use that shield as a way to also just kind of delay while Pesky comes back in from wherever he is, whether he's respawning or whether he's coming from the opposite side of the map. So a really good use of an otherwise underutilized technology, and the Danglers, of course, using it to get one hell of an advantage in that first round.
And so now we're going to have to hope that cognitive dissonance, or cognitive deficiency, excuse me, can work their way back in.
That's a mouthful, let me tell you.
A lot of words bouncing around in my head when you said that team's name. Had to look down at my sheet for that one real quick. But we'll have to hope that they can bring themselves back a little bit better this time on map number 2, as we are going to be jumping into it in just a second. It's Dark Ice for the second map, and it's potentially the last map of the series if Danglers can pull off anything close to what they just did on map number 1. Let's head in map here in just a second and see if they can do it as the second round has begun between these two teams. And in we're going to go, folks. Dark Ice obviously having, I think, a little bit more claustrophobia when it comes to the initial spawns and the kind of outskirts of the map. Gives you a lot of these side lanes to play off of, but the middle is still relatively open, like what we had on our last map here. Stumpy Nub's going to get off to a good start. Problem is the trade comes in, but at the same time, Danglers are still able to keep hold as Pesky Cashew picks up the final frag there, wiping out the remainders of Cognitive Deficiency and giving his team the one-up.
I also saw him utilizing a little bit of that health booster that was added more recently. It used to be you can only kind of re-heal by hitting the pickups along the map, and now you've got that health booster that you can drink, which will regenerate your health over time all the way to full capacity. I believe, though, if you take damage, it does stop working, and it does recharge over time, so you can reutilize it more than once as long as you're able to stay alive for long enough.
I think generally it's used as we do see Pesky Cashew moving in with the slingshot. Just destroys both the members of Cognitive Deficiency. They don't even get a chance to think about that one. He just walks into that one casually. But yeah, the health booster generally has been used as more of like an out-of-combat quick heal-up for teams so that they don't immediately get traded by a team that's respawning. And that helps to, I think, avoid those kinds of situations where the teams are just going like back and forth ad infinitum at each other. Ricocheters in those side holes going to be able to do a lot of damage here. Cognitive Deficiency does not want to make a habit of chilling out here for too long, as you can bet the Danglers are just going to try to pick up as many Ricocheters as possible and take them into those halls, which is exactly what we see Pesky Cashew doing.
Well, I mean, that Ricochet is probably still the most favorited weapon in Space Junkies right now. You know, a lot of the players like it because it's got a high rate of fire. It's got decent range. It's not a long-range weapon by any means, but it's got decent range. And once you get up close with it, it just decimates because you can dual-wield the Ricocheters, and that's just a lot of firepower coming at your enemies very quickly.
And for those of you guys who might be newer, the Ricochet also bounces off of the walls, which is why we talked about before about why teams do not want to sit in an enclosed space while dealing with it, because it's only going to deal more and more damage in those types of situations.
Pesky Cashew, man, he is just racking up those slingshot kills, man. But really, with the area of damage effect that the slingshot has with his explosive rounds does give it a little more leniency in the accuracy, but if you hit those shots accurately, it gives a lot of damage with that direct explosive.
It's not like a direct hit from a rocket launcher in some other games and the damage multiplier that has. To be fair, there's also a rocket launcher in this game, which I believe has the same properties to it, so kind of like two explosive guns in this one. Speaking of explosive plays, we're going to see Stumpy Nub trying to move in with the shield. Bit of a missed engagement, and he misses that opening biopump shot, meaning that it's going to be a little bit messier. We'll see Cognitive Deficiency able to get a few trades off of this one, but not enough to tip the scales. Still heavily in the favor of the Danglers at 9-4, with a little over half the time now gone from the round.
Yeah, Danglers still playing very tight. It doesn't look like there's a lot of chinks in their armor right now. I mean, Cognitive Deficiency has been able to pick up more frags on this map than they were in the last, and that's great. I'm glad we're seeing a more even show out here in the first round. But, you know, obviously the Danglers just have the edge. I think the skill difference is just there. There's no overcoming that, really, unless you just have amazing strategies or just the best map control.
They know what they want to look for. They go for their weapons right at the start, and they seem to always have that combo within the first 10 to 20 seconds of the round beginning. Yeah. And the problem is it's been so hard to wipe them because cognitive deficiency is always coming out with fresh spawns, and obviously they're just dealing at they're just dealing with the wheel of the RNG at that point in terms of what they get coming out of spawn, and unfortunately having to kind of hide in these side halls. Considering the Danglers want to work with Ricocheters, it just plays more and more into their favor.
Absolutely.
As they go for those pushes. So 13-5 now, one more team wipe, and the Danglers will take control of this second map, meaning the series is also theirs. Let's see if they're going to be able to pull it off. No reason why they shouldn't be able to at this point. We got 1 minute and 10 left, so maybe cognitive deficiency can give us a miracle here.
If anything, the Danglers might be able to use this just to kind of cool off a little bit, maybe regain some energy, because these fast-moving games like this can really take it out of you pretty quick. But no, it looks like Pesky's going to stay on the attack. Stumping Up getting taken down there just before. And he's looking for that railgun kill, but unfortunately he is not going to find it.
A little bit of an overcommitment from both players there does give away the double kill with the cognitive deficiency. They'll start to work their way back into it as a result of that. Relatively staggered kills as well, meaning Stumping Up's going to be out a few seconds before his teammate is. And you can see really quickly he's already armored back up, ready to fight again. Pesky Cashew going to be in a similar situation relatively soon, but Stumping Up doesn't seem to care. He's going in. He's almost got the frag confirmed to win Epic. A 1-for-1 trade works out well for these guys. Also considers only 30 seconds left to begin with here, but they won't even need it, as we are going to see the Danglers get that final frag up to 15, and with about 20 seconds left, they will get the closeout on map number 2, meaning the series is theirs, and they will be moving forward into the upper bracket semis.